Welcome to South Coast Reptile channel, and today's video we're going to go over why the leopard gecko is a great starter pet for pretty much anyone looking to get into the reptile keeping hobby. So down to why leopard geckos make such amazing starter pets in the reptile hobby. One of the things that makes leopard geckos amazing starter pets is their affordability. Now most reptile shops you go into will sell leopard gecko starter kits because the leopard gecko is one of the most commonly kept reptiles in the reptile hobby. Now these starter kits can vary wildly, but the ones in my own local area are these small wooden vivariums with a glass lid and a glass panel at the front for your viewing. They do come with a heat mat, a hide of some description, basic substrate, a food bowl, water bowl, basically everything you could need for your very first few months of keeping your leopard gecko. Now personally to me, the hides and that come with this kit, I didn't like them very much. So as soon as I got it, I switched out the old hides for brand new, more naturalistic hides, just because they were better for the aesthetic of the tank, and I thought it was a more natural environment for Lizzie when we first got her. Shortly after, unfortunately, with the leopard geckos, you'll buy that starter kit. There's two ways you can go about it. You can either go with the starter kit to get you into the hobby. But it's nice, it's all in one box, it's ready to go, you just got to plug it in, play with it basically. Or you can go out and buy a larger kit, because even though some places say you can keep a leopard gecko in a 2 foot long tank, my own personal opinion is you want to keep them in a 3 foot long tank, because ever since I put Lizzie in a 3 foot long tank, she has done way more exploring in her tank. She's got so much more to interact with, more territory to like hunt her locusts in and that, and for her to behave more naturally than she would be able to do in a 2 foot tank. So you're talking price range for a leopard gecko starter kit about $199.99. It is in my area. That's in UK pounds. It might be different if you're from America, but here it's that. Or you can go the other route and you can buy a 3 foot tank. For example, I've got a Vivsotic vivarium, which is a 3 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. But that does not come with any attack things. So you want to go to the shop, go to your local reptile shop, buy a vivarium, ask the people in the store, who I'm sure will be more than happy to help you, what do I need to make this acceptable for my leopard gecko? We've got an overhead infrared heater, the hides, food bowls and that, the thermostats. We also give Lizzie UVB, even though sometimes you don't, some people say you don't need it, but we prefer for her to have UVB. All in all, the cost probably for the second tank we all got together, probably cost in the range of £300 to £400. But then also, but the price of the actual leopard gecko itself, you can get a leopard gecko from £40 up to £80 like your local reptile shops. Or if you go like some places like Preloved, for example, here, you can find leopard geckos, different morphs going up to the hundreds of pounds, because obviously different morphs are worth different value. So one of the reasons they're really good, they are affordable. The next thing that also, it kind of goes into the affordability, but also goes into other things, is their size. The leopard geckos, as you saw from Lizzie, Lizzie is pretty much a fully grown female leopard gecko and is actually heavier than a normal leopard gecko. Leopard geckos can range in weight from 45 grams for the smaller end, up to, if you have a super giant morph leopard gecko, get up to 150 to 200 gram range. Lizzie sits at about 100 grams, so she's a larger leopard gecko, but not up to the extreme end of some of the more extreme morphs. But she's about 9 inches long and weighs 100 grams, obviously. Because of this small size, they are very easy to handle. They don't weigh nothing, and as you saw in the video, she just goes up your arm, doesn't really require much to handle them. Secondly, also, I've never known them to bite, scratch or anything like that, cause any harm. So because they're small size, even if they wanted to do that to you, even if they bit you as hard as they could, they would be very lucky to draw any kind of blood from you due to their small size, and their jaws just aren't powerful enough to hurt you. So the size of them, they're very easy to handle. Because of this, it does mean you have to be a bit more careful when you handle them. You can't grab them really hard because they're not as strong as, say, for example, your bearded dragons, which you can handle a bit more roughly. But leopard geckos, because they're soft skin in nature, do need to be a bit more gentle. The third point which makes them amazing starter pets is their availability to speak. If your kid goes online, if you're a kid and you've gone online and you've gone, right, I want a leopard gecko, and your kid comes to you, Dad, I want a leopard gecko. Pretty much, you can need a guarantee, like 99.9% of reptile stores will have leopard geckos in store ready to be purchased. So so they're very easy to find for the normal morphs. If you're talking about if you're like a breeder, for example, and you want to find more expensive high-end morphs, then obviously then you're going to have to try harder to find these morphs. But if you're just going for the lower end normal morphs which are easily available, you'll find them easy. And because they are so common in the hobby, if you have an issue with your leopard gecko, there are thousands upon thousands of people with leopard geckos, and you can pretty much guarantee someone out there has had the exact same issue you're currently having, and they'll be on some forum, some reptile site, somewhere on the internet. You will find information for your problem. Like, say for example, Lizzie's impaction. I knew Lizzie was impacted. I looked online, how to solve impaction, give her a bath. Found all the information I needed, which is in our previous video of how to bath Lizzie. Bathed her, the impaction went away. So that is one of the things that makes them really good starter pets, is the fact that there's so much information out there that you're not gonna struggle finding an answer to your problem. If you go and look for it, you most likely will find it, either online or go to your local expert in your reptile shop and they'll be able to help you. Another reason they make really good pets is they're quite low maintenance, both in terms of your time and your costs. For example, with Lizzie, she lives on a diet mainly consisting of locusts with the odd Maria worm treat, and sometimes we chuck crickets in there just to give her a bit of a spice up in her diet, and so she's more active in chasing the crickets than say the slower locusts. But overall, you need to feed them maybe, for a full grown adult leopard gecko, twice a week. A fair like six locusts of an appropriate size twice a week will easily feed an adult leopard gecko. So buying one tub a week, which I think is like £2.50, £3 for a tub of locusts, and that'll feed your leopard gecko for a week. So your actual food cost for your leopard gecko is only about £3 a week. So that's not very bad at all. But also in terms of your time, the most time consuming things you're going to do with your leopard gecko is feed them and mist them in the morning to simulate obviously the morning mist, kind of morning dew in their natural environment. Those are the two things you're going to spend most of your time doing. Don't get me wrong, every reptile you have, you're going to have lights, you're going to have heating. You've got to turn them on, set them for the right thing. But in terms of your actual time you spend doing it, 5-10 minutes a day maybe, and you know, they're sorted, they're done. It don't take more than 5-10 minutes a day. You will have to once a month do a full clean out, like you have to go in there, take all the substrate out, clean everything and put it back in. But I can do that in about half an hour to get the whole tank cleaned, all sorted out, all re-put back together and put Lizzie back in. About half hour, so 10 minutes a day, once a month, you're talking about half hour to give it the tank a full deep clean. Now I've given you 4 reasons why leopard geckos make amazing starter pets. Obviously everything I say is off my own personal experience with Lizzie, but also this 5th point, it's not a good point, but it's let you know point. Like, I'm not going to trumpet their own horn and say they're amazing, there's never an issue with a leopard gecko. There's one thing with leopard geckos, not all leopard geckos like it, but most of them are. Sometimes they can be very boring in the nicest way possible. Don't get me wrong, handability, like even if they're like kind of in their hide, their weight, you can pick them up, moving around. You can have, like with Lizzie for example, I can move her around, she's fine. Perfectly happy, perfect lizard. But if you'll go into your reptile room, your lounge, wherever you keep your leopard gecko. Most of the time during the day, where they're more nocturnal, I know they've recently been discovered to be kind of like this weird kind of both, like they can be out during the day and during the night, but in typical sense they're quite shy animals, so they do tend to hide in their hides during daylight hours, and you're more likely to see them at that point of the day where you first turn the temperatures down, turn their light off, simulating the sun setting. That's when your leopard geckos will normally pick up their activity, come out for their explore, and so what. So with that being said, if your kid is this kind of, if you're like a parent looking for a pet for your kid, and your kid's got a very, you know, they want to be able to see the lizard, they want to be able to see the lizard all the time, chasing its food and that, a leopard gecko is going to be doing all that kind of thing in the dark. And it's very unhealthy, and you see people do it, it's very unhealthy for people's leopard gecko to come out and they think, oh, my leopard gecko's out, I'll put the torch on my phone so I can see them really well and shine it at them. It'll completely ruin their night vision, completely. It will stress them the hell out, and they just won't, and they'll just learn when you're about, they don't want to come out. So they'll just stay in their hides and not come out until you've gone to bed, and then they'll go, right, it's late enough, he's gone to bed, I can now go out and do my thing. So as a quick roundup, affordability, they are affordable. Maybe the low end of cost to get an entire starter kit in that, you're talking about maybe upwards of £300. If you're going with the whole bit of a bigger tank, maybe a 3-foot vivarium, you are talking most likely you're going to spend, instead of the £300, up from £400 to £500 for the vivarium and all your equipment. Their size, they're extremely handleable, they can't cause you any real pain. Perfect pet for a young child to handle because there's no dangers of any kind. Availability, they're always available. Any reptile shop we go into, 99% of the time, will have leopard geckos, and you'll be able to purchase one, get any information you want, and so on. And also the maintenance side of things, like I say, 10 minutes a day to do daily routines, half an hour every month to give them a full deep clean of their vivarium. So that's obviously not very time consuming compared to some reptiles, which can be very time consuming. Then obviously the fifth bonus point of, it's got to be aware, naturally they are shy. You can't buy a shy animal and expect it to spend all day outside in the tank chasing down locusts and crickets, because that's just not in their nature. With that being said though, for everyone that has watched this video, I do greatly appreciate you watching it. Can't wait to send more videos out on YouTube like this one. Hope you'll see you in the next one. Enjoy your day.